It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day to ask a gay doc with our good friend, Dr. Renzo Corzano of Desert Oasis Healthcare. Hey, Renzo, how's it going?
Hi, John. It's going good. I'm actually really excited for this show.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about psychedelics, and we
Mm.
have a very special guest to welcome, Zach Leary, the author of the book Your Extraordinary Mind. And he is going to be coming to Palm Springs, the Cultural Center, for a live lecture and signing on July 12th from 2 to 5 p.m. Now, Zach, we'd like to welcome you. How are you?
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I'm good. Yeah.
We are ready to have you here in Palm Springs. We'll make sure it's preheated for you.
Yeah, I don't think you could do anything about that, but
Yeah.
hey.
Now, for anybody who is uninitiated, and I know you don't like to dwell on the fact of that your dad was Dr. Timothy Leary, and of course he was a proponent of LSD and psychedelics, and we will not dwell on that. If you don't dwell on the fact that my mother was Elizabeth Taylor, and everybody else
Oh.
her violet eyes. Actually, she's not, but
And my mother was Charo, just so you know.
Gucci, Gucci. So, parents aside, this has been a subject that has, been around your family for a number of years. And how did you embark upon your journey to becoming an author and an expert on the subject?
Yeah, and I'd add to that, this subject has been around, it's been around my family forever, but it's been around humanity for thousands of years. The human story is interwoven into the psychedelic experience. It's only within recent years have we lost contact of that and thought that psychedelics are perhaps something different, but they're a part of every single indigenous culture. How did I get involved with it? For a long time, to answer the question, I wasn't. I thought it was in my best interest to get as far away from the family legacy as possible. That happens a lot with famous children. It's like you get so caught up in the legacy and the sort of the imprint of the parent figure that you try so hard to get away from it. I mean, I did that for a while
So
until
you didn't tune in, you didn't turn on, you just dropped
no.
out.
Yeah, I did. I grew up with psychedelics. I was really into the Grateful Dead scene and LSD with that, and that was a big part of my formative years. And I had a spiritual crisis in my early to mid 30s and found myself looking down the gun of a spiritual emptiness and rediscovered psychedelics, and that morphed into what I'm doing now. Yeah.
And from a medical standpoint, Renzo, you've been reading a lot of serious academic papers about the subject that psychedelics are coming into the research and helping people with PTSD and serious
Yeah.
psychological trauma.
Yeah, and like treatment-resistant depression, which is something that I'm really interested in. I read these papers on Nature, and there's a lot of psilocybin studies on there.
Yeah.
And I actually have a couple of patients who have done it and personal friends, and they've all told me that it like literally transformed their lives. So I'm really interested in that. And I even had a patient whose son was really into psilocybin and gave no ketamine and actually gave me this book to read on it, but I haven't done it yet.
The reality around mental health is it's really only within the last 40, 50 years have we even begun to understand mental health and had any sort of treatments before. Up until that point, we basically locked people away in sanitariums and didn't know what to do with them. And all these kind of decades later, it's the reality is many of our mental health treatments, quite frankly, don't work that well. They're starting to a little bit. What we're seeing with psychedelic research is, hey, maybe there's a new lens to look at this through.
Zach, there was a time in America where it was not criminalized and there was treatment being applied. I've read articles like Cary Grant,
That's
the
true. Yeah.
classic Hollywood actor, was doing LSD under the direction of a doctor.
Correct. Yeah. In the 1950s, LSD really made its way into therapeutic circles quite successfully, actually. There was a wonderful doctor named Dr. Humphrey Osmond, who's the one who actually coined the term psychedelic. And a lot of his proteges based out of Los Angeles used LSD as a psychotherapeutic method to really expand on the psychotherapy models of the time. And the Cary Grant example is a fantastic example. It did so much for him. And he writes extensively about it, about how it really helped him come to terms with his identity and this whole made up character that was Cary Grant and got him in touch with who he really was.
Yeah, he came from a traumatic childhood back in Bristol, England, and you can read all about him. But when did the use of psychedelics become criminalized?
In the 60s, mid 60s, what was basically happening, and this is always synonymous with any kind of drug that becomes outlawed in our culture, not just psychedelics. It's always, they always become illegal because the powers that be don't like the people that are using them. It's never really about the drug, it's always about the people. First, it was opium, Chinese Americans who were smoking opium, and then Latinx who were using cannabis, and they renamed that marijuana and the whole reefer madness scares. And then Nixon basically saw that hippies and anti-Vietnam War activists were using LSD and cannabis. And he thought, oh, those are the people we don't like, so let's outlaw their drug. It was never about the drug. It's always about the people.
Who are the people that are using it now?
That's a great question and a great story because that just changed so much in the last 15 years. It's no longer the property of the counterculture. It's no longer just acid head freaks at dead shows or fish shows or ravers or white party goers who love to do MDMA and party all night long. It's a whole, everyone from veterans to doctors and lawyers and anyone seeking treatment for any kind of healing that they desire.
Everyone I've talked to who has done this, they've said that throughout their journey while they were on these medications, they felt a lot of intensity. It was so overwhelming and they couldn't really escape it. And one of my friends described it as like this emptiness and this like blackness that he saw. But you know what he told me? He said, I would do it again in a heartbeat. And this is, I'm quoting him, okay? He said, because I felt like it accelerated my therapy process by about 3 years.
Yes.
It was insane. It's just the way he described it. And I hadn't seen this guy in about a year. And when we connected again, I'm not kidding. He felt like a different person to me, man.
No, that's a great anecdote. And it's so true. And you have to remember what comes with traditional therapy is a lot of hard work, right? It's
Yes.
difficulties as well. And the psychedelic experience is no exception. Many experiences can be very challenging and difficult to work through, but that's what we say, what we call the work, when we say that's what the work is. And it's hard to face our inner demons and look at our shadow sides, but that's where the breakthroughs happen.
What's the one that you felt you got the most out of?
The one that I've got the most of, probably mushrooms and MDMA, LSD in my earlier years, but I find that LSD is so long, and then as I get older, it's a little long for me. So now I find mushrooms and MDMA to be the most profound, and also DMT. DMT is very short acting, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, very high potency, very quick, but very profound.
You always do this under the guide of someone, right? Or do you do this alone?
I don't really ever do it alone, but I do it sometimes with a guide or with a trusted friend or my partner or something. But rarely do I do it alone.
There is a group locally, the Palm Springs Psychedelic Society, and this is a collection of people who are serious about this and the movement to legalize or at least decriminalize and to help people with psychedelics. Zach Leary, the author of the book Your Extraordinary Mind, is going to be signing copies on the 12th at the Palm Springs Cultural Center. We appreciate having you on Ask a Gay Doc.
Hey, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
And we appreciate our viewers with their questions that they send to lgbtqhealth@mydohc.com. It's a service of KGay 106.5 and 92.1.
And Desert Oasis Healthcare?
Your life, your health, our passion.
Hey, it's John Taylor. Thanks for watching our video. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our KGay channel so you won't miss anything going on in the gayborhood. And you can always listen live to kgaypalmsprings.com.